I'm Bea.
And I'm Sam.
And we're two best friends who like to talk shit about smut, wingspan,
And sometimes books.
Join us every Wednesday for a new episode.
Welcome back, Smutterflies.
Smutterflies. Says Smutterflies.
We're really in the meat of the story now, aren't we? Empire
It was
Storms.
a really bad week to get my period.
Ooh, I mean, better Empire Storms than Kingdom of Ash, babe.
Yeah. I just feel like now from the time of recording, the next 2 weeks. Like, I've loved doing this.
I have.
But I'm also really ready to be done.
Yeah. I don't think I'll do a reread for a long time because I forgot the emotional impact it has on me.
I thought, reread, I'll be sad, but fun sad? No.
No, it's like I'm hearing this for the first time again. I'm like, oh.
Also, I don't think, because when I read it for the first time, I read it in such quick succession. But we are reading it quite quickly, but I was on maternity.
Yeah.
So I was reading some books in one day.
Yeah.
So actually, no, it's not been that quick because it's been 8 weeks, which I took oh my God. I think I took less than 2 weeks to read the whole thing last time. It's almost like I'm just steeping in it more. I'm steeping in the sadness. And like my husband made a comment to me on the weekend, like, you just seem really down recently. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm fucking reading Throne of Glass again. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
Like, need therapy, read Throne of Glass and you'll need it twice as much.
Yeah. It's not, I don't know, maybe this is maybe we need to get to Kingdom of Ash. Maybe I need that.
Yeah.
But do you find when you reread ACOTAR, it feels like cathartic? Like, it's like, I needed that.
It's more light-hearted.
Because everything happens quicker.
Yeah.
Like, you get your wrap up in 3 books, basically.
When this episode comes out next week, on April the 30th,
yes,
we will be hosting for the first time ever at our local Waterstones. Their ACO 10 party. So the 10-year anniversary of ACOTAR.
Yes.
They've kindly invited us along to host the event.
We're so excited.
Are we?
We're also scared and nervous.
I'm pooping my pants. Like, I've given myself IBS over this.
Welcome to the family. But also, it's a sellout. So,
so if you were like, I would have come if you told me, you couldn't have anyway.
Yeah, we would have mentioned it, but
it's sold out.
It's sold out. Like, our Waterstones isn't
so exclusive.
Yeah, our Waterstones isn't humongous.
No.
But there are a few of you that we know are coming, which we're so excited about. Yay. We can't wait to see you. You'll be living it right now when you're listening to this or afterwards.
Yeah.
But we've got some stickers and some bookmarks. We did the quiz. Sam did the quiz.
I'm like that.
Oh.
Did we?
Hey, who designed all the stickers and the bookmarks and got those printed?
Who's not creative? Me.
Who's not good with
words? Just the author.
Wrote 120,000.
I'm not good with words.
Actually, when you get a copy of the final book of Waterstone, it's all just crayon drawings of me illustrating the entire thing. Drawing. Imagine what my dick would look like when I drew it. Anyway.
And it would be like arrows to say what things were, like ice.
Water. Knife. Anyway. So we're really excited to be doing that. We're also terrified, but I thought of a good saying to tell ourselves for these things.
Oh, go on.
We don't get nervous, we get ready.
Ooh.
Do you like it? Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
I feel like I could kick a door down.
So that's happening, like we said, if you're listening to this on release day that evening. So we're so excited for that. And then also don't want to say that loud.
Yeah, make it real.
Have all gone. A little bit. That really is kind of I guess a warm-up for us, because we've had this in as a possibility for quite a while. This thing we're going to tell you is happening in the background, but we really didn't think, oh, Sam's bored. Sorry, it's the biggest thing to ever happen in our entire lives.
And I'm like,
just
Sorry.
another fucking Tuesday.
It's Thursday.
Oh god, yeah, weird, isn't it? We are cheering the Q&A with Callie Hart at Bath Literature Festival on May 25th.
Sorry, just to like let that sink in. Bath Literature Festival.
Yes.
We are chairing.
Callie Hart.
We're like fucking Dumb and Dumber. Why have they asked us?
I know.
We were like, oh, yeah.
Well, and also, right, so, like, to give a bit of context, when we went and met with Callie Hart at the sign-in, Callie really kindly gave us her, like, publisher's information because she wants to come back on the podcast. We were like, anything.
Yeah.
We'll make, every week can be you.
Yeah.
We'll just make this like a story of your life if you want, and we'll do a different year of your life.
We'll come on your book tour with you.
Yeah, whatever you want. Like, do you need a footstool? You're signing our life to the table on all fours and you can put your feet up on my back. Sam can do the Brandon Sanderson thing for you with the books. Anyway, so we were like, amazing. That was the original plan. And then they'd mentioned that Callie is back in the UK in April, May to do another round of physical tours and talks in the UK. So we were like, amazing. We'll come back to London. Oh, Sam's bored again.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I said this to you before, right? Honestly, the amount of times I have to edit out your yawns. You yawn so much.
I'm a tired girl.
But you go to bed late, so this is like lunchtime for you.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry.
But we're going to come back to do an in-person interview for the podcast with Callie.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing led to another. And the dates got announced.
One thing led to another. That reminds me of Mamma Mia when she's like, dot, dot, dot.
One thing led to another, and Callie Hart is possibly one of our 3 dads. Who would the other 2 be? Like LJ and Pencole, I feel. Who are we? Who's our daddy?
They all stand up in our wedding.
Anyway. So one of the sign-ins or evenings or Q&As was in Bath, which is not very far from us, just over the bridge.
Yeah,
so
but
we
2
said,
hours.
Can we come to Bath and interview Callie? And, you know, we'd love... And then I just thought, you know what, shoot our shot. She's doing loads of Waterstones dates. We've attended a Raven Kennedy one where they've had, like, a local influencer do the cheering. And I was like, I'll just put it out there. I said, if there's any date you don't have somebody cheering, we'll cheer it. Even if it's not the Bath one, even if it means going to fucking Edinburgh, we'll go to Edinburgh. Like, if you just need someone, we'll do it. And then they said, well, actually, the Bath Literature Festival one is decided by Bath Literature. Let's see if they'll let you. And honestly, right, if Bath Literature Festival are listening, we love you. This is no tea to you, but we really didn't think you'd want us to pair of fucking idiots.
Yeah, I thought you'd take one, like 1 second of our podcast and go, no.
They'd look at the time and be like, nope.
They have a cunt counter.
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, in Britain's Got Talent when they hit the big red eggs, you can see it from the other side of the bridge from here. It's just Bath Literature Festival going, nope. But they really kindly said yes.
Yeah.
And we found that out last week and we both had a cry. I had many cries.
Oh my God. I literally had a full breakdown about it. I was like pooing my pants.
You know, when
like,
all the blood starts rushing to your fingers and I just was sat there for like an hour, like I can't feel anything.
Numb.
Yeah, literally I was like,
I'm having a stroke.
Honestly, I was like, I can't do anything. So it's happening.
25th of May.
25th of May. There's still tickets available. The link is in our Linktree bio. I know at this point the tickets with the goodie bag and the signed book were like nearly sold out. I'm going to be honest, probably by the time you listen to this, they're probably sold out.
Yeah.
And also, this is just a funny thing we need to say, that when we thought of Bath Literature Festival, right, we've never attended, but we assumed it would be like Hey on Why, right? So like you have smaller talks in like, I don't know why I thought tents, but do you know what I mean? That's the vibe I thought.
All of us in a teepee.
I just thought it'd be like the size of this garage, and it'd just be like Callie and us and a little thing. I thought, okay, it's still scary, still terrifying, but like we can do this.
It's in a theatre.
I sent it to Sam the other day, like we've just fucking girl bossed so hard, we've ended up Rebecca Yarrising ourselves to the stage.
It's like,
and, like
on a stage with like a
Britney fucking
podium and like loads of seating. I can't think about it. Honestly, I have to block it from my mind and pretend it's not happening because it genuinely makes me nauseous.
We'll just practice the shit out of it.
Yeah, we will, but I'm so scared.
We'll be fine. You got a picture. It'll be like, and it'll be so dark. It'll be like you're sat in here with Callie. You've just got to think about that.
I'd shit myself if I was in here with Callie.
But
yeah.
A bit of nerves is good. Nerves keeps you on your toes. Like we said, we don't get nervous. We get ready. So that has just consumed our lives at the moment, basically.
What are you currently reading?
Still listening to Sunrise on the Reaping.
Yeah.
And I am reading Broken Souls and Bones Arc by L.J. Andrews. Ready to get that out before the release date, which is the 29th.
Well, that's the American release date.
When is it coming out here?
I don't know.
Should I have a look?
Come on then. I think it's just a little bit later.
I want to say it's like the 10th of May, 15th of May.
Oh, not too long after
in
then.
the United Kingdom, so not long after.
Stunning.
So that's what I am currently reading. Once I finish, I am going to do Rebel and the Captive. I've got Dustbound. I've got my friend Rachel's beta to do. And then I really need to do Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
And that's me right now. How about you?
Stunning. I am currently reading Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm also like one chapter in Tower of Dawn.
I've also started Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews. I'm still listening to Foxglove by Aelin Grace. I'm enjoying it. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, but I don't have time to listen to audiobooks. Like, so it's just as and when I remember that
I thought you've been doing lots of running though. You did a 10K the other day.
Yeah, but I can't really run with an audiobook.
You need, like,
I use
beats.
it. Yeah, I need something to like keep me going. I know. I can't. Can you believe I ran a 10K?
I'm really proud of you. Well done.
Honestly, I cried when I finished. And I FaceTimed Steve. I was like, I just ran a 10K, and he was like, "Wonder where you were."
Was you one on the doorstep with a confetti cannon ready?
I just wanted him to be like, "Oh my god, well done!" And he's like, "Oh, I wonder where you were." It's like, "Oh, fuck off, Steve." So yeah, I'm still listening to Aelin Grace.
Yeah. This is off topic. The trad versions, special editions of Daughter of No Worlds, War of Lost Hearts have gone up for pre-sale on Waterstones. You need to pre-order them. And don't tell me I'm influencing you because you'll be upset when you don't get them. I've had loads of stuff on pre-order and I haven't told you about it because you tell me off, but then I know you get upset when you don't have it.
My Nightcoat Akatar set came today.
Mine's coming tomorrow.
They're so pretty.
I know. Everyone who was hating on them.
They fucking put big exclusive stickers on them all though. Like peel-off ones. Not peel-off ones, but I'm like, piss off. I don't want sticky residue on my books.
No, but are they silver stickers, aren't they?
No, they're black and they just say exclusive.
Oh, then I'm taking them off. Let's
like,
get some goo gone to get the
like there's nothing.
Off, yeah,
it just says like exclusive edition. I was like, oh, piss off.
Oh, but if it had been like a silver sticker, I would have left it on.
That was black.
There's been loads of pre-order stuff going up that I know you'll be upset about, and I can tell you about them. But
like what?
You give love a burden. Songbird and the Heart of Stone paperback.
I've got the hardback already.
Ballad of the Fallen Dragons, When the Moon Hatched, book 2. Fine.
I haven't read the first one.
I'm just
making sure I've got counter arguments so that I don't cry.
The Night and the Moth.
Don't know what that is.
Rachel Gillig. You read it.
Yeah.
It's the new one of her new series.
Ooh. Look at that.
The new exclusive edition of When the Moon Hatched has been released. Okay. Catabasis, but I ordered that for Corey. Oh. It's R.F. Kwang. You do know. Babel and the Poppy Wars.
Oh, right.
Catabasis is like, Corey just finished the Poppy Wars. It's the best thing I've ever read in his life.
Ben loves it.
He said it's incredible. Bonds of Hercules. The one that everyone's obsessed with. That's come in as they've just re-released a special edition. Hold on, I'm just checking.
It's all fun and games putting pre-orders in until the fucking money comes out.
Brimstone and Quicksilver, the new deluxe editions.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I've got Brimstone on pre-order.
Oh, I just not the like deluxe, the new cover one, the regular pre-order one. Yeah.
So I don't know yet.
Have you put Metal Slinger in?
Google.
Goldfinch paperback.
I got the hardback and it's signed.
Yeah, but you've also got all the paperbacks. Don't you want it to finish the back collection?
Maybe. We'll see.
My street teams are about to close, so if you want to go enter, then go enter.
Street team.
Also, I had an update that my editor, that the likelihood of Daughter of Stone being finished considerably sooner than I expected is going to be real. The release date's still going to be the 31st of October, but for anybody that has an arc, I think I'd said that I'd wait until like September to close arcs. They're probably going to close like end of July, and they're already 70% full. So one or the other's...
Not picking me up clapping.
But one or the other's going to happen. So if you want it, it's actually going to be a lot quicker because everything's happening a lot faster than I expected.
I booked my honeymoon today.
Oh, you did? How exciting. For 3 fucking weeks.
I know.
What are we going to do?
We're going to have to bulk record before I get married. So.
Oh, we're recording?
Yeah. Empire of Storms, you get into like the meat.
Do you know what, right? I'm going to say I disagree.
Ooh.
And it's not because I don't think we're in the meat. I think we're coming to like a pre-dessert.
Ooh.
For me, I feel like the meat was Queen of Shadows.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me this prior to rereading it, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I would have said Empire of Storms, we get cooking. But I feel like a lot of the groundwork has been laid already for where we're going, what's happening. I feel like we're on the no, I lie. Maybe Queen of Shadows was the fish course.
Okay.
Empire of Storms is the main course. Tower of Dawn is the pre-dessert. Kingdom of Ash is the dessert. So we're currently on the main course.
Yeah. My first note that I've written about this book is Darrow is a ding, ding, ding cunt.
I hated the whole political thing with the Lords of Tarazan in the first read.
Yeah.
And I hated it even... And I want to say hated it. You're supposed to be frustrated. I don't mean like, ugh, fuck Sarah. Like, no. But because you've gone through so much turmoil and struggle.
Yeah, you're like, she's finally fucking home.
And you expect like all of them to be standing there waiting with wide arms like, queen. And really, they're just all some miserably wrinkled fucks around a table in a pub going, fuck off.
But they're supposed to meet outside and they send somebody and say, Kevin, so they power play in from the get-go. And then they say, you're not, you can be a princess. We'll recognise you as a princess, but you're not our queen. And all the lords have agreed on it.
And you need to go marry somebody from a foreign land to make political alliances because we're fucked.
I've written here, Darrow, Orlan's lover or not, don't be such a prick.
Isn't that wild that he was Orlan's lover, her great uncle?
Yeah.
Great uncle, yeah. It was her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess maybe he's just a bit sour. Like, why the fuck did you survive and my lover didn't? But
well, and also because him and Orlan couldn't have biological children, that's why the bloodline passed down to Aelin's dad, who was his nephew, and it ended up in Aelin. So I'm not saying it shouldn't have been Aelin's family, but like in theory, Darrow was consort.
Yeah, yeah. So he's like thinks that he's in control, basically.
Which, like, fair. I don't think he's wrong, but he's salty.
Oh, yeah, really salty. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
But I've got here. So this is Aelin talking to Darrow and the other lords. I'll make one more promise. I promise you that no matter how far I go, no matter the cost, when you call for my aid, I will come. I promise you on my blood, on my family's name, that I will not turn my back on Tarazan as you have turned your back on me. I promise you, Darrow, that when the day comes and you crawl for my help, I will put my kingdom before my pride and not kill you for this. I think the true punishment will be seeing me on the throne for the rest of your miserable life. And she walks out and he says, where do you think you're going? And she said, to call in old debts and promises, to raise an army of assassins and thieves and exiles and commoners, to finish what was started long, long ago.
Oh, I got shivers already.
Same.
And another thing to mention in this scene, just so we're on the topic, because it's in my notes and we're on the topic, is that Aedion says, well, my bane are loyal to me. First of all, Aedion having a bane is...
Woof.
I have nothing appropriate to say. Raw next question. That's all I can say about that situation. He says, my bane are loyal to me. So fine, don't fucking support it. My bane are going to support it. And then I think it's Darrow or Ren, can't remember which one, is like, nope, they're loyal to the Lords of Tarazan. We're the Lords of Tarazan. And we'll tell them, no, they're not loyal to Aelin Galathynius. And I feel like we can get into a bit further on when we get into further on in the plot, but I hadn't really noticed that as something happening in the first time I read it because you're not looking for it. I feel like that really hits Aedion hard, because all he's really had to hold on to for the last however many years is that he had an army, the Bane, that were loyal and were like notorious for being really brutal and good at what they do. And in reality, he has no control. And I think that we'll get into it, but further on, I think it's a bit of like a decline for Aedion.
Yeah. Yeah, he's lost his blood oath. He's lost his Bane.
Yeah, lost his cousin he was supposed to marry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of like the big first plot points in this book is the witches attacking Ardalan.
Yes.
And Dorian's castle.
I had forgotten all fucking about this. Like, I remember Aedion. I remember Rowan having to go back and that journey with Aedion and Rowan and Dorian being a thing, but I didn't remember why.
Yeah.
And
so Manon saves Dorian and she kills a yellow legs. Yeah. And then Rowan rocks up and he tries to kill Manon and Dorian won't let him.
And doesn't Rowan kill like 4 other witches in the process, or like a few more? And basically Manon kind of says in her internal monologue, it's bad enough that I've killed one of my own, but then I've allowed him to. So it's actually 5 kills they're going to put on me, not just 1.
And obviously, when you're a witch killer, you have like a scent of a witch. Like they can scent.
Smell the blood. Yeah.
So she ain't fucking hiding that, is she?
Nope.
So Rowan saves Dorian, and they go off on a little boat together.
Yeah, just 2 bros in a boat.
And I've got a very interesting quote.
Oh, okay.
Dorian says, I should stay. And then this is Dorian's inner monologue. A gift of the king's magic, then the enhanced hearing, raw magic that could grant him any gifts, ice, flame, healing, heightened senses, and strength. Perhaps shape-shifting if he tried.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like subplots running alongside each other at this point. So while that's happening, you pick up the thread of Elide being lost in Oakwold Forest on her own because Manon just fucking dropped her in the middle of nowhere. Head north.
See you nowhere. What's fucking north?
I know. And she's being hunted by Valg beasts.
Yeah.
And hunted by Lorcan. And then I tell
you which I'd fucking rather.
Yeah. But he saves her.
He does.
He's hunting her thinking I'm going to attack her. He sees all the beasts and he sees how determined she is. She's got this damaged leg and she's, not doing well. She's tiny.
Yeah. But
he thinks she's a child until he actually talks to her because she's so small.
Yeah.
So he saves her. And then the Valg beasts put a target on their back.
He picks her up and throws her over his shoulder.
Yeah. She's like, oh, just do it. And he just picks her up.
I'm obsessed
with. I know.
With.
I love it.
For anyone that was like, when we were talking about previous books, if you're actually reading along with us, we're like, oh, you really rave a lot about this fucking Lorcan, but like, he's just been a bit of a dickhead, and I agree. But like, if you've now finished Empire of Storms, can you agree with us that like, you can see why we're feral for Lorcan?
Yeah.
I want him to throw me around like a little tiny fucking sack of flour. Like a little tea bag over his shoulder.
And then we get in chapter 11, Manon being back at the at Morath.
Yeah.
And Manon's grandmother says, okay, I won't punish you, but I'm going to kill Astrid.
Yep.
And that'll be a death for a death. The Yellowlegs lost one of their sentinels to you. You'll lose one of yours to them. And that scene ends with Astrid being sentenced to death. And then what Sarah does in this is she gives you a couple of chapters following one person, ends it on a cliffhanger, and then jumps to somebody else, and you're like, what about Astrid?
Yeah.
So then it jumps straight back into Dorian and Rowan.
Yeah.
And Dorian asks Rowan to train him in magic.
A boat. It's so cute.
It's so sweet.
That little bonding sesh that they have.
And like, he's
lovely.
not like, like, I don't mean this in a nasty way because obviously I love Kale, but if Kale was Dorian, he'd be too proud to ask somebody to help train him.
Yeah, I think Dorian, of the two between Kale and him, even though Dorian's the prince or now king, he's considerably more humble than
Oh yeah, he's very humble.
He's not proud.
No.
Sometimes to his own detriment, and we see that, we'll get into that further on in Empire Storms that he's kind of grappling with actually some people giving him respect, but like that's another conversation. But yeah, he's very, I think the only thing he knows that he's class at and has an ego about is his rizness.
Yeah.
Like he knows he could.
Yeah, like, he knows he's got away with the women.
Yeah.
But anything else, like he's quite humble about.
Do you reckon if Dorian had tried, he could have raised Rowan on that boat? Because I reckon easily.
Could, yeah. Easily.
That's a fanfic for you.
Can we think about that tonight?
What if the boat never made it back and they were just stranded on a boat? Stop it! We're writing fan fiction again. Wait. Sorry, we didn't address the elephant in the room. I wore Empire Storm charms on my glasses tonight just for this evening. Look at that for fucking dedication to the cause.
What is it?
A storm. Look, they come off. They're magnetic. I can swap and change them.
A storm.
A storm. Look.
Wow. I love that.
Sorry, carry on.
Then we jump to Aelin, Aedion and Lysandra being in Ilium.
When I was reading this, I was like, somebody's put chapters into my book because this didn't happen in the original read.
And there's soldiers camped out in the temple.
And Erwan, well, now we know is Erwan. Say that now.
Yeah.
Because I think when Manon goes back to Morath, she goes to meet with him and he's just like out now. He's not Duke Parenton anymore.
No, he's like a young man, like a blonde. Yeah.
Because we have the Tog game and it has cards and like hard smash.
Okay.
You've seen it?
I can't remember.
Oh, he's a hard smash.
Anyway.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. They go to Ilium.
Yeah.
Aelin sneaks off to send some post. And then they go into the temple because they want to get rid of the soldiers.
Yeah.
And this quote, honestly, fuck me. The soldiers blinked. One of the townsfolk behind them began weeping as a crown of fire appeared atop Aelin's hair, as the cloth smothering Goldrin burned away and the ruby glowed blood red. Aedion smiled at the Ardalanian bastards, unhooked his shield from across his back and said, "My lady gives you a choice. Leave now or never leave at all." The soldiers exchanged glances. The flame around Aelin's head burned brighter, a beacon in the dark. Symbols have power indeed. There she was, crowned in flame, a bastion against the gathered night. So Aedion drew the sword of Orinth from its sheath along his spine. Someone cried out at the sight of that ancient, mighty blade.
I have one thing to say about that scene. That, when you look in the dictionary, is what is underneath the words "by panic."
You've got Aelin with her flower crown, with her fire crown, and Goldrin, and then you've got Aedion with the sword of Orin
and saying "my lady." I'd be nude.
Leave now or never leave at all.
I'd rather never leave at all than means fucking you see me off. She chokes them with her fire from the inside out, because we've never seen Aelin use her fire in combat really up until this point. And to say that is only, again, for further books, i.e. Kingdom of Ash, to say this is only the tip of the iceberg is an understatement. I forgot how much of a duo Aelin and Aedion are. Because I think I always remember them being much more at odds at this point, which they are, but they also fight a lot. And I was reading it, I was like, I'm reading this for the first time because I don't fucking remember this at all.
Well, obviously, Brannon comes to her in the temple.
She speaks to him.
And they have... So Brannon says to her that, he says, Maeve was scared of my fire and now she's scared of your fire. And Aelin laughs and says, she's not Valg, is she? And Brannon laughs and says, no, as cold as one, but no. I didn't remember that little conversation happening.
Me either. Interesting.
Very interesting. And then, this whole fucking chapter was blowing my mind. Erwan turns up, as you said, as the overseer from Endovia.
Yes. And she battles with him.
Yeah. But it's like, imagine for her, the PTSD of seeing that overseer from Endovia again. Like, she was whipped by him, she was a slave under him, and then Erwan turns up in his body.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And also, when I was reading this, I was like you said, that for her, how she's dealing with that mentally, but also Rowan's not there.
Well, and he says to her that he is tracking Dorian and Rowan.
Yeah.
And it says that he unleashes a dark power over her.
Mm.
And like his power is still very like, we don't know what it is. Like
inconspicuous.
It's very...
We just don't know. I agree. And he hits her. He hits her with power. And it says, I don't have the quote, but he misses the amulet of Orinth by like fucking millimeters.
It leaves a mark on her, doesn't it?
It does. And also that would have been, I mean, a shit creek without a paddle, because that's the fucking word key.
Yeah.
You've only just got it back.
Yeah, and now you've had it destroyed by the Valg.
Very nearly, yeah.
And then, sorry, we go from that chapter. That's chapter 16.
Yeah.
We go straight into chapter 17, which is Astrid's execution. My heart was like going fucking 100, no, the 100's normal, isn't it? 400 beats a minute.
Yeah.
But I've got a lovely quote here.
Yeah, okay.
Hand trembling, Astrid pressed her fingers to her brow and extended them. Bring our people home, Manon, she breathed. Manon angled Windcleaver, readying for the strike. The Blackbeak matron snapped, "Be done with it, Manon." Manon met Sorel's eyes, then Astrid's, and Manon gave the 13 her final order. Run. Then Manon Blackbeak whirled and brought Windcleaver down upon her grandmother.
Can we talk about what happens after that?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Because then her grandmother drops a fucking T-bomb.
Yeah, she does a little Rowan on us, doesn't she?
She does a Rowan, she does a fucking surreal on us. Oh, by the way, your father is one of like the rarest things out there, which is a Crochan prince.
And I killed him.
And I forgot she says that then as well. Male witch of the Crochan clan.
Meaning that Manon is a Crochan queen.
Yeah,
she's the queen though.
Yeah.
And then, as if that T-bomb wasn't enough, she goes, "Oh, remember that Crochan I made you kill? It was your half-sister, Rhiannon."
I got the goosies all over there, right down my back.
And they fight.
Yeah,
and
they have it out. Yeah.
Her grandmother slashes her stomach open.
Doesn't she say, like, drop weapons and they start literally just fighting with teeth and
she's
claws.
like, "Let's do this the way we're supposed to." And she like slices Manon open and Manon knows like, fucked. "I'm fucked." Yeah. And she just rolls off the ledge and Abraxas catches her and flies her away. She is in a bad way after that.
Not good.
Very bad way.
I'm Brooke. I'm Cammie, and we do Throne of Glass deep dives over at Bookish Realms Pod. What name does Elide go by when she first meets Lorcan in Empire of Storms?
I literally just saw a meme of this.
It's an emotional name. It means something to her.
Is it her mother's name?
No. It is her mother's name.
Is it Miriam or Miriam?
Yeah, I think it's Marion. It might be Marion. I think that's how you say it. It's Maron, but yeah, it's her mom's name.
Do I get that one, Sam?
I don't think so, but I'll give it to you. Miriam and Marion are not the same.
Look, babe, have you seen how we've been doing so far? Like, we'll take it. I'll take it. She won't know it's good. She'll text me later, like, "Yeah, well, you only won because I let you, you know."
I allow it.
Oh, I'm quite proud. It's only because I literally saw a meme this morning of it. That is the only reason why I remember.
Yeah, it's like during their like circus arc situation. It's so funny.
Oh, the knife thrower.
Okay.
Oh,
that whole circus part. I was like, oh wait. I'm still upset that we didn't find out what Lorcan did, but like, so unfortunate.
Maybe one day.
But the circus scene, love, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's just like such a funny break from like all the seriousness, and they're like, yeah, and like over here they're pretending to be in circus. Like everyone else is doing like very serious things, but they're over there.
Literally the whole time that thing, you know, the like circus music where it's like da, 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 You're like,
Yeah.
more enemies, and then you flip to that page and it's like, okay.
Yeah, literally everybody fighting for their lives, like trying to save the world, and Aelin and Lorcan are just like throwing knives and fortune telling, like love
Juggling,
this for us.
like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. Love this for us.
And Aelid's like, oh my god, he's hot. He's up there. He doesn't have a shirt on. Like,
I love it. Yeah, it's great. Doesn't he also like sleep on the floor so she can sleep on the bed and like the oh
Little green
And he
flag.
cuts up his t-shirts.
Oh,
yes, he
So
does.
she can.
I'm laughing at my next thing I've written
Go
down.
on.
So then we jump to Aelin and Lorcan,
Yeah.
who have decided that they're going to work together. And I've written big titty Aelin and sword thrower Lorcan.
I mean, what a pairing.
I don't remember them talking about how big her breasts were.
Me either.
Yes, chapter 19.
Oh, okay. That's where it's
If
at.
anyone wants to read about Aelid's big tits, it's chapter 19.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Even when I've just reread it, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's what I've got written
Oh.
here. Big titty Aelid. And that is the chapter where, for the first time, Daddy Lorcan uses his magic to brace her bad leg. That's the first time he does it.
Which, this isn't a spoiler for the rest of the series. I will say, Lorcan's magic is a bit like, you don't really know what it is right now. And I'm going to be honest, you'll finish the series and you still don't really know what it is.
No, because he can't shift.
What is it? It just is.
Yeah.
What's Lorcan's magic? Oh, you know,
It's just stuff.
just magic. Magic stuff. This is a bit like, because I feel like everyone else has really defined magic.
Yeah, they
like,
do.
Aelin's fire, Rowan's a shapeshifter, wind, and ice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, just wind.
No, I think he's got a bit of icy ice.
Dorian's ice.
But can do
Yeah.
everything. Everything.
Lorcan's just a leg brace.
A bit. And it's not even like, sorry.
He's
this
just
is,
a 7-foot leg brace.
and it's not even like, oh, it's shadows. It's
No.
not even really, it's just
like air.
It
He
just
just like
is.
compacts the air around her leg.
It's just the aura from his fucking BDE. It's just, what is Lorcan's power? It's BDE, it's
Yeah.
big dick energy. It's literally the embodiment of BDE. That's just what can he do with it? What can he do with it? Oh, you know, just this and that. Is it, this isn't really a spoiler, where they start describing, where they say about Aelin and Lorcan, they keep referencing them as the two gods. Like, Lorcan's like, is it Hellas?
Yeah.
And what's the one for Aelin they always say is like on his shoulder? I feel like that's also a H, but I can't remember the name of it. Maybe I've got it down on my notes. Don't think.
Yeah, Hellas, which is like the god of hell, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Leeds is like the goddess of luck.
Yeah, because we kind of see it in this scene we're going to
Yeah.
talk about, but a lot of the way that Aelin not gets away, but like battles things, is using her wit and her mind.
Yeah, it's the god of cunning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not luck.
I might be further down. I'll have a look.
Because obviously she's trying to get information about what the fuck's going on elsewhere.
Yeah.
And she's like pretending to drink her ale and talking to people.
Well, and she overhears things. She listens
Yeah.
as well, which is really interesting. Because Lorcan's
Yeah.
like, "Why are we just fucking sat at this table?"
She's like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Eat your food, drink your
Yeah,
ale.
literally.
And they join a caravan
They do.
of a carnival.
Almost, yeah.
And Aelid is
Big titty. What did you say?
I just put big titty Aelid and
Nice.
sword throw a Lorcan.
Nice.
So yeah, Lorcan is juggling swords and being topless and oiling himself.
Hot.
And Aelid is his wife, Marion. And she's telling
fortune teller.
fortunes, yeah.
And it says when he sees her in that fortune teller getup, he is down hard for it. Hard.
Very interesting. Rowan and Dorian finally arrive in Skulls Bay, and I've written here, plot twist, Gabriel and Fenris are there.
I fucking forgot that they show
Same.
back up.
So they've been sent to kill Lorcan.
Yeah.
And Vaughan, love him, the Osprey of Doranel,
Yeah.
has been sent up north. He's just flying about, having a fucking lovely time in the mountains.
Does it say what for?
Also to look for Lorcan.
Oh, so they were all looking for him and
Yeah.
okay.
And then I've written here, truth bomb time. Rowan tells Gabriel he has a son and he'll be dooming him if he doesn't fight with them. And then Gabriel and Fenris tell them that Maeve's Armada is sailing for Eelway. And Rolf knows that they're there, but he don't really want to fucking talk to them.
No.
He's like, fuck off. I mind my own business. So they're all just there in Skulls Bay, waiting. It's weird doing it in chronological order, but obviously I've taken notes as I was reading it. And then we get Manon and the bloodhound that's tracking her. And she tells Abraxas, take me somewhere safe.
Yes.
And then we don't see her again until very later on in the book.
All the goosies have got for the next bit.
Then we get Aelin with her BDE energy again. Rolf unlocked the door, muttering, this had better be worth my time, and stalked in the awaiting dimness beyond, then stopped dead. Even in the watery light, Dorian could perfectly see the woman sitting at Rolf's desk, her black clothes dirty, weapons gleaming, and her feet propped on the dark wooden surface. Aelin Galathynius, her hands laced behind her head, grinned at them all and said, I like this office far better than your other one, Rolf.
This scene is honestly one of the ones for the history books when it comes to Throne of Glass. It is Aelin at her best, is all I can say.
Yeah. So Rolf looks at Dorian and he says, rumour has it she was your champion this fall. Do you wish to deal with this? Dorian said smoothly, you will find, Rolf, that one does not deal with Selena Sardothian, one survives her. Then she says, I'm allied with the Queen of Terrasan. And he says, well, where is she then? She whistles and in walks Aelin too.
Yep.
Lysandra in Aelin's skin.
Yeah, I love it.
And he's like, what the fuck is going on? To be fair, Rolf does hear her out. Even though she fucking sacked his city last time she was there.
Yeah.
He does hear her out and she says that she wants to make a new kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And Rolf says to her, this is talk of young idealists and dreamers. The world, Aelin said, will be saved and remade by the dreamers, Rolf.
Oh, I just got the goosies again. Oh, that was a big one. That is a quote. That is like a big quote.
Yeah. I fucking love her being back in Skulls Bay. Like, ass.
I love the way she gets people on board.
Yeah. And then Gabriel is fucking sick of waiting. He turns to Rowan and says, tell me where my son is now. And then Adrian asks Lysandra if he'll go with her to meet his dad. Him,
Yeah.
because we've always had Adrian as this like brute warrior, like, you know, nothing can get through to me. And then he asks Lysandra,
He
like,
ask Ayla and he asks Lysandra.
I know, but it's just so sweet.
Yeah, I know, but
that,
I
like,
mean, it's so like that he's warming to someone else.
Yeah, and that like he knows it's going to be uncomfortable and he knows it's going to be emotional, so he wants somebody there with him. And it honestly stunning. Rolf says, yeah, I'll help you if you make me King of Skulls Bay and Lord of Ilium, because she's found out that Rolf is a descendant of the Mycenaeans.
Yeah.
And she says, like, you need to bring them back. And he said they won't come back. You know, there's like a prophecy or something that says like when the sea dragons come back, that they'll come back. And then we get Lysandra as a sea dragon. And it's one of the reasons that Aelin took her into that temple so that she could, and why she burned the temple was to get all the dust and everything off so that she could study the markings of the sea dragon. She's always fucking plotting that, Aelin.
She's a fucking genius. And also, this is one of my favourite things because like everything else in Throne of Glass kind of like happens for a reason, right? Like it's meant to be as the prophecy. Like they fuck the prophecy. There's no real sea dragon.
No.
So there's probably not any more sea dragons left. So the Mycenaeans would never have risen. Aelin's like, do you know what? I'll just fucking lie to them all. I'll just make them believe the sea dragons are a thing. I don't give a fuck. And like Lysandra can't keep up the pretense for forever of being a sea dragon. So eventually the writing's going to be on the wall for him, but I'll just fib.
Yeah, and I think Aelin says it, like she says, like more than like a symbol of like a prophecy coming true, it's like a symbol of hope.
Yeah,
and like that's said quite a lot throughout these books. Like I think Alid says to Manon, like, I want hope for a new world. Like hope is like a big thing.
Yeah. It just creases me that she just lies to this whole like nation
literally.
Of people.
And pulls them all out, and like potentially is going to pull them all out to hiding because they think that somebody's come back who hasn't.
Yeah, it's just Lysandra.
Just Lysandra dicking about in the water, rolling round on her belly. Like,
like what?
And then they take the boats out because they're going to attack the army that is gathering, the armada.
Yeah.
And this is where we see Diana take over Aelin's body
on the
boat.
It's
and
wild.
It's so wild. And she turns to attack the city.
Yeah.
And Rowan jumps in front of her, and she ends up blasting the fucking boat apart.
Yeah.
And then they're all in the fucking water.
And this is why rereading the earlier books aided, because I remember this scene vividly, but I don't remember Diana is actually her great-grandmother, just renamed as Mab. They just rename her because they do that sometimes.
She becomes a goddess, doesn't she?
Yeah, so they rename her, but it's Mab, which is why I completely forgot that.
And then, if you've read ACOTAR, then we get Fenris teleporting them out of the water. What's it called? Winnowing. We get Fenris winnowing Aelin out of the water.
What do they call it in this? They don't.
Yeah, he just says, like, I can move in small pockets, like, because he can only do it in very small distances. Right. He can't actually get that far. But he winnows her onto a little island so that she's safe. Then with Lysandra the hero taking on 2 sea wyvern, and like she thinks she's saved the day and that everything's done. No, they were just the 2 babies. Now there's 3 bulls coming after you.
And I was confused about this when I was reading it. Talk to me about the sea wyvern. Where do they come from? Because
the mountains, they've been breeding them. They've been using
so they've been doing sea ones as well as sky ones. Yeah. Stunning. Okay, I thought so, but I was like, don't remember this.
So she kills 2 bulls, but like she is very
injured. Yeah.
Aedion is up on the tower with the crossbolt things, and he's like watching, and he's like, I can't fucking do anything. She dives out of the water, so the next sea wyvern also dives out of the water, and Aedion kills it with a shot through the neck.
This is what I mean, that like people are swooning for Rowan, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't know what he does swoon worthy, because Aedion's fucking doing it all.
Then she washes up onto the beach, and she's in a really bad way. She hasn't got enough energy to
spewing her guts up, isn't she? Yeah,
she hasn't got energy to shapeshift back at the moment. And Aedion's with her, and her head is just in his lap. And this is obviously from Aedion's point of view. He yielded a foot, but held eye contact with her as he grinned. But he's saying all the men that were in that tower with me now want to marry you. But you know what I told them? I said that they didn't stand a chance in hell. Aedion lowered his voice, holding her pained, exhausted stare. Because I am going to marry you, he promised her. One day, I am going to marry you. I'll be generous and let you pick when, even if it's 10 years from now or 20. But one day, you are going to be my wife. Those eyes narrowed in what he could only call female outrage and exasperation. He shrugged. Princess Lysandra Ashriver sounds nice, doesn't it?
I am unwell.
I just fainted, so BRB.
You know how like I don't put Aiden in my top 5 men of all time?
Now I'm like, why? Ooh.
I am actually unwell. The standard he sets is beyond.
Yeah.
I'll be patient and let you choose when.
Yeah.
I think we rated Dorian higher than him, didn't we? And now I'm thinking, no.
Might need to revisit it. Yeah. What more can I say?
I have no words.
And then after all of that happens, we get Aelin and Rowan just shagging in the sand.
Oh, do you know, when you were talking about this, I was like, is this what happened next? Because I'm pretty certain it is. I'm going to be honest, right, and say that it just wasn't the time, Sarah.
No.
And maybe this is one of the reasons why I can't get behind Rowan.
The water's full of fucking Val guts and men's guts.
And the thing is, like, they're only, like, here and everyone else is here. It's not like they're...
in a secluded bay?
No. I'm sorry, no. You only got to look over there. It's like a nudist beach.
It's supposed to be a queen.
What's going on over here? And she's getting fucking DP'd by Rowan. Like, and I know they say he puts a shield of wind around them so they can't hear, and
you can still see.
It just doesn't.
I've still got eyes.
Maybe it's me, but for me, I like a lot more like build up.
Yeah.
I like a bit more. I don't know. It just seemed a bit like Quickie against the wall. You know?
But I do have a nice quote.
Go for it.
Aelin met Rowan's stare and said clearly and boldly and without a speckle of doubt, I love you. I am in love with you, Rowan. I have been for a while, and I know there are limits to what you can give me, and I know you might need time. His lips crushed into hers, and he said onto her mouth, dropping words more precious than rubies and emeralds and sapphires into her heart, her soul. I love you. There is no limit to what I can give to you, no time I need. Even when this world is a forgotten whisper of dust between the stars, I will love you.
That's what I mean. I feel like that's forgotten because, like, they're just having a quickie on the beach.
And then after this, I still don't really understand how this all worked, okay? Maybe you understand better. Aelin goes to talk to Dorian. Yeah. She says, it's time for you to meet your ancestors. She uses the word key to summon Eleanor.
Yeah.
And Eleanor's like, I'm too far away. And she's like, you're not too far away. You're going to fucking stay and you're going to answer my questions.
Yeah, because how does she know to do that?
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
Comment if we're just being idiots.
I'm probably being tough.
Yeah.
But Elena, or Eleanor, however you say it, tells them that Mala was her mother.
Sorry, say that again. My brain couldn't process it.
Eleanor tells them that Mala was her mother, Mala of Fire. Mala Firebringer.
I thought that Brannan's mother was Mala.
No, Brannan is Eleanor's dad.
Yeah, I knew that, but because they say he's gifted fire by Mala.
Yeah, doesn't she sacrifice herself? Isn't that what happens?
Oh, I thought that that was his mother.
No.
Oh.
No, Eleanor tells them that Mala was her mother.
Okay.
And she turns herself human to be with Brannan, is it? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little revelation that I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Abraxas finding them and dropping an unconscious man on in the sea next to their boat. And she told him to take her somewhere safe. And he took her to Aelin. He took her to Dorian.
Are we gonna jump ahead to the bit I really want to talk about? Because
no.
I really want to.
I got 2 or 3 sentences to talk about, and then we can.
Okay, I was just looking in my notes to see if I had. Sorry, in my notes, I was looking in on the Throne of Glass wiki because you can search certain items to see if it explains about that thing.
Okay.
Sorry, but you carry on. I am listening.
So then the Ilkin, which are like demons from Morath, find the carnival and attack, and Loken finds out that a lead is Marion. Marion is a lead. So she lied and told him her name was Marion, and he finds out that her name's a lead.
Yes.
And then they flee on a boat, and Loken opens the amulet that Aelin gave him and finds out it's fake, and he's like roaring into the night. So this is when Dorian's standing in Manon's doorway. She's obviously still in chains because they don't trust her. And she sort of like invites him into her bed, and he just turns around and closes the door and walks away. She had never been denied. Men had fallen to pieces, sometimes literally, to crawl into her bed. And she didn't know what she would have done if he had taken up her offer, if she would have decided to learn what the king could do exactly with that beautiful mouth and toned body, a distraction and an excuse to loathe herself even more, she supposed. She was still seething at the door when it opened again. Dorian leaned against the aged wood, his eyes still glazed in a way she couldn't tell was lust or hatred or both. He slid the lock shut without looking at it. Her heartbeat picked up. Her entire immortal focus narrowed to his steady, unhurried breathing, the unreadable face. His voice was rough as he said, I won't waste my breath telling you how stupid it would be to try to take me hostage. I won't waste mine telling you to only take what I offer you and nothing more. Her ears strained to listen, but even his damned heart was a solid beat, not a whiff of fear. He said, I need to hear you say yes. His eyes flicked to the chains. It took her a moment to comprehend, but she let out a low laugh. So considerate, princeling. But yes, I do this of my own free will. It can be our little secret. She was nothing and no one now anyway. Sharing a bed with her enemy was nothing compared to the Croatian blood that flowed in her veins. She began to unbutton the white shirt she'd been wearing for gods knew how long, but he growled, I'll do it myself. Like hell he would. She touched the second button. Invisible hands wrapped around her wrists, tightly enough that she dropped the shirt. Dorian prowled to her. I said that I'd do it. Manon took in each inch of him as he towered over her, and a shiver of pleasure rippled through her. I suggest you listen. The pure male arrogance in that statement alone. You're caught in death if you... Dorian lowered his mouth to hers. It was a feather-like graze, barely a whisper of touch. Intent, calculated, and so unexpected she arched into it a bit. He kissed the corner of her mouth with the same silken gentleness, then the other corner. She didn't move, didn't even breathe, like every part of her body was waiting to see what he'd do next. But Dorian pulled back, studying her eyes with a cool detachment. Whatever he beheld there made him step away. The invisible fingers on her wrists vanished. The door unlatched, and that cocky grin returned as Dorian shrugged with one shoulder and said, "Maybe another night, witchling." Manon almost bellowed as he slipped out of the door and didn't return. Invisible hands wrapped around her wrists. There's a scene later on, and I think I've just taken the whole fucking chapter, but...
Dorian Shadow Hands Haviliad.
Riz, King of Ardalan.
You had me at leaning against the door.
Honestly, same. I could have stopped reading it then, and we'd have both been like, sold.
Like, I've like
swinging my bra around my head.
Literally. Like, you had me at leaning against the door and slid the lock shut without looking at it.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe this is why Dorian is our number one.
Yeah.
But this is what I think, just a good, like, quick conversation to have, is why I get, for some people who are big ACOTAR fans, are hesitant to read Throne of Glass because it doesn't have, technically, like, smut in it. But this is what we mean.
The tension, like...
As a smut lover, for me, that's enough.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And that's enough for me.
And what we get later on between them, like, fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Because for me, it's about, like, the sizzle.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, sometimes I want just like a...
Like yearn and burning, like I want to yearn and burn too.
Yeah.
Like don't give me wham bam.
No.
Like
that's why Aelin and Rowan's doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, make me work for it.
I want I want that. I don't want just like, I don't want you just to kiss me and tell me you love me and then just have a quickie on a beach. I want shadow hands pinning me to a wall and then you walking off with a cocky grin. That's what I want. It's the anticipation.
Yes. Like leave me wanting more.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after that scene is when the Ilken, which again are like Valg demons, is impersonating Fenris. And it's in Aelin's. It's in Manon's room.
Oh my god, I don't remember that.
Manon wants to have the kill. Fenris is fuming, firstly, that nobody realised it wasn't Fenris.
I don't remember this.
Dorian kills it with ghost hands. He just snaps its neck with ghost hands.
Is it weird that I want him to snap my neck? Ghost hands.
Literally. But before he does that, the Ilken tells Manon that Astrid's dead. And like talks about her death and like whatever. But it sends out a call basically and loads of Valg come. Yeah. And then Lysandra fights alongside Abraxas as a wyvern.
Yeah, I remember this.
And she's been like watching Abraxas's wings and the shadow silk, the spider silk, and how it all works. Yeah. Like Lysandra's always watching and like pivoting, like upgrading her armor almost in like the different skins that she wears. That bit with the Ilken was so interesting.
She is such a crucial character that I don't feel like gets enough.
Yeah.
Not necessarily love, but just like credit, I guess.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because like Lysandra's carrying pretty much everyone on her back right
Literally.
now.
They'd all be dead in the water if she weren't a sea dragon.
Yeah. Because she can be anything you want.
Yeah. Like, Lysandra.
Literally.
Be this.
Literally. Like, everyone would be fine.
Be a grizzly bear.
And also, like, the least moany, least bitchy person out of
she's
everyone.
not like, oh, fuck, here we go again. What do you want from me now?
So whenever anyone's moaning, like, Aegon gets a bit bitchy and moany at one point, and sometimes I'm like, And she's just like plotting and scheming with Aelin and just doing whatever she's asked to do, basically. Then we get Loken and Aelin.
We get Lorcan and the lead stop in a little town on their boat because she needs sanitary products.
Oh, God.
He leaves her to go and get something else. Like, he's getting, like, food and stuff, I think. And her Uncle Vernon turns up. And she basically is like, I'll kill myself before I go back with you. So she's literally about to kill herself. Lorcan lobs something and it hits her dagger. So that obviously she doesn't kill herself. She kills the two Ilkin that are with Vernon.
Does.
And I think that's such an important moment for a lead, that she's the one to kill them. She doesn't just rely on Lorcan to do it for her. She leads them down a really tight alleyway and then she kills them.
Yeah.
Vernon does get away. Fucking ding, 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 cunt. And then we get probably one of the most sweetest things ever.
Yeah.
Lorcan makes her sanitary products out of his shirt. He washes and dries it overnight, and then she wakes up and there's all strips next to her bed that he's made for her.
The bar is too high.
Because he's 7 foot, or?
Both.
Oh, okay.
That, along with like shadow hands and lean on a door frame. This is why I'm sorry guys, this is the We Hate Fucking Rowan podcast, but it is because you've got Lorcan doing that, you've got Aedion saying things like you just said to Lysandra, and then you've got Dorian doing that, and everyone's like, Rowan's my main guy. What? I'm sorry, what are you doing? Yeah. What's the TikTok that is like, what do you do successfully? Is that Drag Race?
Yeah.
When she's like, tell me, what do you do successfully? And then the Drag Race is like, that's us with Rowan. What do you do successfully, Rowan? Tell me.
Like, we don't just need pretty words. Do
but
stuff.
It's not even that pretty.
Do stuff.
Because like Aedion...
some of the stuff he says is...
It's not Aedion though. Do you know what, for me, it's too flat. I like a man that's like...
Do you know what it is for me? Rowan isn't rizzy enough.
No, he's not. He's not rizzy.
He's a sweetheart. He's fluffy, and the stuff he says is really like fluffy and lovey. There's no like rizness to him.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I actually prefer Rowan in Air of Fire.
Yeah,
because he's a bit more like cocky, a bit more like.
Yeah,
but
now that he loves her, he's just like a little fucking wet blanket. Yeah,
and that's fine, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Then we get Aelway burning, and everyone on the coast thinks it's Aelin, and it's her revenge for them not coming to her aid 10 years ago. And they go up and down the coast putting out the fires. And Manon sends Abraxas away because she says, you're too noticeable, like you need to go. And she throws her red cloak into the sea.
That's a very poignant scene.
Yeah, because you can see that in like your mind's eye, like you can see it rip, and like I'm sure it says like that it looks like a pool of blood, like rippling in the waves.
Am I right in saying that they wear a red cloak because they take them from the Crocans?
No, so you're right. The red cloak is a sign of the Crocan. Manon's the only one that wears red.
Yeah, I thought so.
And she wears it as like a trophy of who she's killed. But obviously it was her sister, her half sister,
and she's the Crocan queen.
Yeah.
So really, it's not very ironic if you're wearing it, Manon.
Yeah.
That's really what you should be wearing.
Yeah.
She's having a time of it.
Yeah, bless her. I've got such a fucking stunning quote here.
Okay.
A lead whispered, "I would hide you in Peranth if you do what you need to do and need somewhere to go, you would have a place there with me." His eyes snapped open, but there was nothing hard, nothing cold about the light shining in them. I would be a dishonoured male. It would reflect poorly upon you. If anyone thinks that, they would have no place in Peranth. His throat bobbed. Elide, you need to... But she rose up slightly, replacing her mouth where her fingers had been. The kiss was soft and quiet and brief, barely a grazing of her lips against his. She thought Lorcan might have been trembling as she pulled back, as heat bloomed across her cheeks, but she made herself say, surprised to find her voice steady, "You don't need to answer me now, or ever. You could show up on my doorstep in 10 years and the offer would still stand, but there is a place for you in Peranth if you should ever need or wish for it." Yeah. And that's when they get to the marshlands.
Yeah.
And the Ilkin show up. There's a horde of 500 of them. And Lorcan says that he's sent out a warning pulse of magic. And then we get this. Aelin threw out a hand in his direction, a silent, vicious order for the lion to shut his mouth. Where are our allies, Aelin? Where are our armies? All we have to show for our efforts is a pirate lord who might very well change his mind if he hears about this from the wrong lips. That's the first time for me that I'm like, Aelin, stop being a little prick. Like, I'm batting for you. Fucking pack it in.
Now, yeah. But do you know, at the time, I was like, man's got some valid points.
Yeah. Where are they, Aelin? What the fuck have we been doing running around this fucking continent?
Yeah, you know.
But Aelin, Dorian and Rowan combine their power to take down the Horde, and it says like they either freeze and shatter or they turn to ash. Like,
it's like the hottest version of the Powerpuff Girls.
Honestly, it's fucking massive slay. Like, maybe not Rowan, but I bang Aelin and Dorian together. And then Gavriel and Fenris sent Logan, and they go to kill him, and Elide throws herself in front of him, and they hit an artery.
Yeah.
And she nearly dies.
Yeah.
And then the gang is reunited.
The gang's all here.
And this is from Elide's POV. I'm here, Elide said, as Aelin fixed those unnervingly vivid eyes on her because of Caltaine Rompia. Her throat clogged, but she pushed past it as her trembling fingers fished out a little bit of cloth from her inside pocket. The otherworldly feel of it pulsed in her palm. She said to give this to you, to Selena Sardothian, I mean. She didn't know you were the same. She said it was payment for a warm cloak offered in a cold dungeon. I think she kept this as a reminder of kindness. They broke her and hurt her, and she died alone in Morath. She died alone, so I wouldn't, so they couldn't. None of them spoke or moved. She couldn't tell if it made it worse, if the hand that Logan laid on her back made her cry harder. The words tumbled out of Elide's shaking mouth. She said to remember your promise, to punish them all, and said that you can unlock any door if only you have the key. And then I don't think I like screenshot the quote, but then you get Dorian's POV and he's like basically like, what a bastard I am for being so horrible to Caltaine and not realizing
what they were doing to her.
Yeah, what she was going through, and he feels really guilty about it. And like that's what I mean. Like Dorian isn't too proud to say like, oh well, like I didn't know. Like he's very empathetic and can like look back and like feel guilt, and he feels extremely guilty.
Well, because Caltaine ultimately is like, everybody gets manipulated by like the quote unquote bad guys in this series, right? But Caltaine is one where she almost doesn't get any, or there's no redemption arc for Caltaine.
I suppose her sacrifice is a redemption for her.
Yeah, but none in terms of like, you know, she's not standing there is she didn't make it. She's not one of the ones like, actually, like Aedion, I wasn't a knobhead all along. I was playing the game and we were all just trying to survive. She ultimately pays the sacrifice. And had it not been for Elide, would have died and everyone believing that she was this like horrible, selfish knobhead who
like a simpering courtisan,
who was just a nasty bitch who was trying to get ahead in life. But really, you know, she was physically, mentally assaulted, manipulated. Her body was used,
like tethered to Duke Parrington.
Like the atrocities that she would have seen is like unreal.
Forced to use her shadow fire to like kill so many people.
Like they literally physically put the key inside her body. It's what, and also like when you think back to to Throne of Glass before it got quite that bad, like she's hooked to this drug purely because she's got like the valg in her head.
Yeah, it's given her such bad headaches that she's on opiates all the time.
Only thing that it's really dark. It's
Caltaine.
Yeah.
You want a little Aelin POV?
No.
Not bad. I don't think it's bad. I'm just like, it's like snaps.
Okay.
But she was already striding down the dune, doing her best to keep from sliding on the treacherous sand, to keep her head high. The others trailing behind were taut as bowstrings, but their breathing remained even, primed for anything. The soldiers were in heavy, worn grey armour, their faces rough and scarred, sizing them up as they hit the sand. Fenris snarled at one of them, and the man averted his eyes. But the cloaked woman removed her hood as she approached with feline grace, halting perhaps 10 feet away. Aelin knew every detail about her, knew that she was 20 years old now, knew that the medium-length wine-red hair was her real hair colour, knew the red-brown eyes were the only she'd seen in any land on any adventure, knew the wolf's head on the pommel of the mighty sword at her side was her family's crest. She knew the smattering of freckles, the full, laughing mouth, knew the deceptively slim arms that hid rock-hard muscle as she crossed them. That full mouth slanted into a half-grin as Ansel of Briarcliff, Queen of the Wastes, drawled, "Who gave you permission to use my name in pit fights, Aelin?" "I gave myself permission to use your name however I please, Ansel, the day I spared your life instead of ending you like the coward you are." That cocky smile widened. "Hello, bitch," Ansel purred. "Hello, traitor," Aelin purred right back, surveying the armada spread before them. "Looks like you made it on time after all."
Oh, the goosebumps.
And just like the full circle moment from Assassin's Blade to now.
This is why you do AB first.
Yeah.
This
And,
is why, guys, we
the
believe
butterfly effect.
Yeah. That doesn't hit as hard if you'd read AB like halfway through.
Yeah.
I was convinced, right, and I don't know if this was the case for you when I was rereading this, that all of this bit happens after Aelin gets taken.
Yeah.
I thought that everyone shows up after the fact, not before, and then that happens, which I was surprised at.
Yeah. And then we get Manon saying, "Who is she to speak for the wastes?" Oh, gods above. Aelin schooled her face into bland irreverence and gestured between the two women. Manon Blackbeak, heir to the Blackbeak witch clan, and now the last Crosian queen. Meet Ansel of Briarcliff, assassin and queen of the Western Wastes. And then it swaps to man on the POV, and in her head she's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill her."
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get Ansel saying, "Half of them are on their way now, ready to join with Terrasan, the country of my friend Selena Sardothian, who did not forget it, even when she was in the Red Desert, and who did not stop looking north every night that we could see the stars. There was no greater gift I could offer to repay her than saving the kingdom she did not forget. And that was before I got her letter months ago, telling me who she was and that she'd gut me if I didn't assist in her cause. I was on my way with my army already, but then the next letter arrived, telling me to go to the Gulf of Oro, to meet her here and follow a specific set of instructions." Her even picking up that she was always looking north and saying to help save the kingdom that she did not forget. I've literally got goosebumps all over.
I know.
Lysandra indeed went on the defensive and showed her hand. "I know my history is unappealing." "I'm going to stop you right there," Aedion said, daring a step closer, "and I'm going to tell you that there is nothing unappealing about you. Nothing. I've been with just as many people, women, men. I've seen and tried it all." Her brows had risen. Aedion shrugged. "I find pleasure in both, depending on my mood and the person." One of his former lovers still remained one of his closest friends and most skilled commanders in his bane. Attraction is attraction. He steeled his nerve. "And I know enough about it to understand what you and I..." Something shattered in her eyes and the words slipped from him. Too soon for this sort of talk. "We can figure it out. Make no demands of each other beyond honesty." That was really the only thing he cared to request. It was nothing more than he'd ask of a friend. Her thinking like that the life that she had made her unappealing.
I didn't think we were going to get as sad in this episode as we did in the last one, but
here we are.
Also, stats for Aedion Ashriver, our bisexual queen.
Then we get Manon and Dorian's bang with his phantom hands.
Right, Do you know, I forget that they just sneak off and have a bang over the fucking dune.
Literally with
With,
his phantom hands.
Everything going on, I totally forgot this.
And do you know what's my favourite part of that whole thing?
Yeah, sure.
Is after he leaves, her inner monologue says the first time she'd ever let a man on top of her.
I don't have
Like, and I do get it. Like she likes to be in control, doesn't she? She likes to like be able to go for the kill.
Well, yeah,
like,
she doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That's
and
wild, isn't it?
She lets Dorian go on top for and that's the first man she's ever let on top of her. Get it, Dorian?
I have no words. I have no words. Do you have the quote from the bang scene?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Right. It's just like out in the air, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
What escalates to it? I can't remember. They just like wander off and have a shag, don't
Yeah,
they?
they go back to the boat. So they're in her room. It's in a bed.
Oh, I thought they go like the dune and do it.
No, they do go back to the boat.
Doesn't that? Sorry, doesn't that happen in Kingdom of Ash though? When they're up in the ice with all the. You know, when he starts shifting,
yeah.
Do they just go over like an ice dune and do it up against the wall? I'm sure they do. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, potentially. No, they do go back to the boat.
Oh, okay.
Because then Maeve's Armada shows up, and she says like you've got till dawn, and Man on an Aelin go into the mirror.
Yeah, so let's talk about the mirror bit.
Yeah,
I have notes on this because I was as equally confused as this gets a bit, maybe a bit like confusing.
So I've written here, they see Elena pass on the burden to to their bloodline, someone better prepared. So she basically isn't prepared to give up her life to forge the lock.
Yeah.
So she uses the eye to contain him, and then she's like, somebody will come who is better prepared for this.
But she fucks it because all she's doing is passing down the burden.
Yeah.
That's what we realise when we see those flashbacks. I think it's in, is it Crown of Midnight? I can't remember. When Gavin is saying, like, when they're arguing, because he's like, you know, and that is all she does. She doesn't do it properly. And that's what happens, is she just contains Erdogan. And
they say, basically, you only had one shot to use the eye, and you've used it selfishly. So we'll give another chance to somebody else to use it correctly, but their life, like, nameless is my price. Like, they lose everything. They lose like their magic, their soul. Like, they lose everything. So essentially, Aelin's been told she needs to die for this, but she already sort of knew it. She says, like, I've known for a while that I'm gonna have to die for this to happen.
And I don't know if it's explained now, but it's certainly explained later on. This isn't a spoiler, that like Elena being able to like pass through is she's being almost kept in limbo until she sees through the next ear to do this. She should have passed on to like the afterlife where Gavin is and they can like be together. But then that's affected when she's saying like Aelin has to obviously die, but not only die, she doesn't get to like go to the afterlife. Yeah. She literally like ceases to exist.
Yeah. And then they see Nehemia, and Aelin realizes that Nehemia knew that she would be going to Rifthold to die, trying to guide Aelin. So she knew all along that she was going to die.
I think it's, if I'm right in saying, Nehemia, because the mirror is in the marshes, right?
Yeah, they take it, yeah. And it's a witch mirror.
Yes.
So, like, basically, Aelin's like, that's the sign of Elena's eye. Yeah. And Manon's like, no, that's the sign of the witches. That's the, what is it? The mother, the crone, what is it?
Mother Maiden Crone.
Yeah, Mother Maiden Crone. And she's like, no, it's Elena's eye. And yeah, so that's why they both go into the mirror.
And that's where they learn that Nehemia had obviously been researching all of this and cotton on to this a lot quicker. She thinks at one point that she's the chosen queen, and that's why she goes to the marshes to find the mirror. But then when she touches it, she realizes, no, actually, your purpose is to get Aelin here, and the only way you're going to do that is by dying. So from the moment she leaves the marshes and then goes to Ardalan, she knew the whole time.
And that's why she starts working with the rebels, because she wants to just drum up as much as she can and get as much support as possible before she dies. And that's why then she orchestrates her own death. And she says to Elena, because I'm sure if not now, then later, Aelin sees her in the tomb with Elena,
yeah.
and she says, like, it will crush her, my death will crush her, and Elena's like, we've got to do what we've got to do.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah. And while all this is happening, they are all fighting with the Armada because Aelin's not there to either wave the white flag or say that they're going to fight. So they're just fighting. So this is the Cadra talking. We'd never turn on her, Gavriel countered. No, Fenris agreed, but we would offer that strength to another. And he looked at Rowan as he said, when we got your call for aid this spring, when you asked us to come defend Mistwood, we left before Maeve could get wind of it. We ran. That's enough, Lorcan growled, but Fenris went on, holding Rowan's steady gaze. When we returned, Maeve whipped us within an inch of our lives, tied Lorcan to the posts for 2 days and let Khan whip him whenever he wished. Lorcan ordered us not to tell you, for whatever reason, but I think Maeve saw what we did together in Mistwood and realised how dangerous we could be to her. Rowan didn't hide the devastation in his eyes as he faced Lorcan, devastation that Alid felt echo in her own heart. Lorcan had endured that and still remained loyal to Maeve.
It's rough.
Yeah. And then they realise, like, it's not going well. There's a massive fucking armada.
Yeah.
We're like a tiny little unit. Dorian's face had revealed the same thoughts as he clasped his hand with him and said quietly, it is not such a hard thing, is it, to die for your friends? Rowan didn't bother insisting they were going to live through this. The king had been tutored in warfare, even if he hadn't yet practiced it, so Rowan had given him a grim smile and replied, no, it is not. It's not such a hard thing to die for your friends.
That wrecked me.
Yeah. And now this is Dorian's POV. He'd failed them in sending Manon and Aelin away on that gamble. He'd perhaps failed all of them, but Rowan Whitethorn had not. No, as those enemy ships slid into place among their foundering companions, Dorian saw that they each bore the same flag, a silver banner with a screaming hawk, and where Maeve's black flag of a perching owl had once flapped beside it, now that black flag lowered. Now the Dark Queen's flag vanished entirely as Fae ships bearing the silver banner of the House of Whitethorn opened fire upon their own armada.
As he goes
to
from
each of his
cousins and begs them to turn.
Yeah. And then we get Maeve's not on any ship.
Nope.
She's on the shore where Lorcan left a lead. And this bit is written really well because she keeps jumping back and forth between what's happening in the fight and Aelin and Manon. So, like, you're like, shit. And then then my next comment is Elena shows them how to forge the lock. The price is Aelin's life. When they return from the mirror returns them on the beach in front of Maeve with a lead on her knees. Then back on the boats again because we're jumping all over the fucking place. Dorian's POV, that roar sounded again as a mighty shape shot down from the heavy clouds, a wyvern with shimmering wings, and behind it, descending upon the Fae fleet with wicked delight, flew 12 others.
Oh god, I've got the goose again. I forgot that the 13 were there during this scene.
Yeah,
I completely forgot that.
Absolute snaps. So this now is Aelin on the beach with Maeve. Aelin sagged against the hands that held her up. But in my dark power, I saw a glimmer of the future. I saw that Mala's power would surge again and that you would lead me to the keys. Only you, the one Brannon left clues for. The one who could find all three. And I saw who you were, what you were. I saw who you loved. I saw your mate. The sea breeze hissing through the grasses was the only sound. What a powerhouse you two would be, you and Prince Rowan, and any offspring of that union. A vicious smirk. You and Rowan could rule this continent if you wished, but your children would be powerful enough to rule an empire that could sweep the world. I didn't know when you would be born, but when Prince Rowan Whitethorn came into this world, when he came of age and was the strongest purebred fey male in my realm, you were still not there, and I knew what I had to do. To leash you, to break you to my will, to hand over those keys without thought once you were strong and trained enough to acquire them. It was so easy to tug on the right psychic thread that day Rowan saw Lyria at the market, to shove him down that other path, to trick those instincts, a slight altering of fate. Oh gods, Fenris breathed. Maeve said, so your mate was given to another, and I let him fall in love, let him get her with child, and then I broke him. No one ever asked how those enemy forces came to pass by his mountain home. Aelin's knees gave out completely, only the invisible hands kept her upright as she wept. He took the blood oath without question, and I knew that whenever you were born, whenever you'd come of age, I'd ensure that your paths crossed, and you'd take one look at each other, and I'd have you by the throat. Anything I asked for, you'd give to me, even the keys. For your mate, you could do no less. You almost did that day in Doranel. I will kill you, Aelin snarled at the Fey Queen. That's what you said to Rowan after you met him, wasn't it? I'd pushed and pushed your mother to bring you to me so you could meet him, so I could have you at last when Rowan felt the bond, but she refused, and we know how well that turned out for her. And during those 10 years afterward, I knew you were alive, somewhere. But when you came to me, when you and your mate looked at each other with only hate in your eyes, I'll admit I did not anticipate it. That I'd broken Rowan Whitethorn so thoroughly that he did not recognise his own mate, that you were so broken by your own pain you didn't notice either. And when the signs appeared, the Caranan bond washed away any suspicion on his part that you might be his, but not you. How long has it been since you realised he was your mate? And then Alid whispers, leave her alone. Maeve ignored her. Well, when did you know? At Themis's temple, Aelin admitted, glancing to Manon, the moment the arrow went through his shoulder, months ago. And you've hidden it from him, no doubt to save him from any guilt regarding Lyria, any sort of emotional distress. Maeve clicked her tongue. What a noble little liar you are.
That revelation is
fucking awful.
that she
manipulated somebody's feelings, someone's mating bond, someone's like, it's like the fabric of their DNA to lock eyes with their mate and know it's their mate.
And when Rowan is talking about in Syria, he says, oh, she was really like scared of me and reluctant, and it's because it was.
Yeah, she wasn't your mate. She didn't feel the way you felt. Like
that gets into a whole host of like non-consensual, which is so fucking wild to think, and that like got them to conceive a child
and then killed her
to like make him lose his head, so he turned to her, and all she was ever trying to do for years was to force Aelin's mother to take her to Wendelin. And that's why Aelin's mother was so like standoffish about her knowing anything about her fairness, why they never went, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Same for Aedion, I guess, as well. And it's because the whole time she knew what she was doing.
And then Aelin sort of gives in and says that she's going to go with Maeve. She turns to Alid and says, go with Manon, she will take care of you. Alid began crying, shoving away from Lorcan. I'll go with you, I'll come with you. Tell the others, Aelin breathed, trying to find the right words. Tell the others that I am sorry. Tell Lysandra to remember her promise and that I will never stop being grateful. Tell Aedion, tell him it is not his fault and that I wish he'd been able to take the oath. But Terrasan will look to him now and the lines must not break. And tell Rowan that I'm sorry I lied, but tell him it was all borrowed time anyway. Even before today, I knew it was all just borrowed time, but I still wish we'd had more of it. Tell him he has to fight. He must save Terrasen and remember the vows he made to me. And tell him thank you for walking that dark path with me back to the light. One of the escorts handed Maeve an ornate iron mask. She examined it in her hands. The mask, the chains, the box, they'd been crafted long before now, centuries ago, forged to contain and break Malad's scion. Aelin glanced at Lorcan, whose dark eyes were fixed on her own, and gratitude shone there for sparing the young woman he'd given his heart to, whether he knew it or not. Elide begged Maeve one last time, don't do this. Aelin knew it would do her no good, so she said to Elide, I'm glad we met. I'm proud to know you, and I think your mother would have been proud of you too, Elide. So Elide turns and walks away with Manon.
Yeah.
And Cairn,
I think
starts whipping Aelin. And Maeve is telling her to count, and she refuses to count.
Yeah.
Start over. Maeve merely ordered over the girl. So Cairn did again. They started over 9 times before Aelin finally screamed. The blow had been right atop another one, tearing skin down to the bone. Again. Cairn was panting. Aelin refused to speak. Start over, Maeve repeated. But Maeve wouldn't let her die, not with the word keys in the balance, not yet. Time. She was grateful Elena had given her that stolen time. Grateful she had met them all, that she had seen some small part of the world, had heard such lovely music, had danced and laughed and known true friendship. Grateful that she had found Rowan. She was grateful. So Aelin Galathynius dried her tears and did not fight when Maeve strapped that beautiful iron mask over her face. And I don't know about you, obviously not the second time I read it, but the first time I read this, I was thinking, why isn't Manon doing anything?
Yeah.
Why is she being so subservient? Like, why is she just accepting everything? She's fucking silent. She bargains with Maeve and says, like, let me walk away and I don't fucking care what you do. And I was like, I was mad at Manon at that point. And then it swapped straight to a Manon POV. Manon kept walking. She didn't dare look back, didn't dare give that ancient, cold-eyed queen one hint that Aelin did not possess the word keys, that Aelin had slipped them both into Manon's pocket when she nudged her. Elide would hate her for it, already did hate her for it. Let that be the cost. One look from Aelin Galathynius and she'd known what she had to do. Get the keys away from Maeve. Get Elide away. So she's already stripped Gavriel of his blood oath.
Yeah.
She says to Fenris, I'm keeping yours because I know it'll fucking kill you to know what I'll do to your brother and you can't do anything.
And is it in this book? If it isn't, it's not a spoiler for Kingdom of Ash, but Fenris obviously has a twin brother.
Yeah.
Who is the Black Wolf to Fenris's, and what's he called?
Calum?
Connell.
Oh, Connell. I knew it was a C.
And I think it's mentioned that Fenris says that because he wouldn't sexually get him, like he didn't want a sexual relationship with Maeve, and that's all she wanted from him, that she then started a sexual relationship with his twin brother just to spite him. Like she wasn't.
Yeah, we already know this.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's this book or the one before, but we know this.
But like she wasn't sexually attracted to his brother in any capacity. And he, am I right in saying she uses the blood bond to make him do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's a piece of shit, honestly.
Rancid.
But then she also severs Lorcan's bond. I have no use, she crooned, for self-righteous males who think they know best. I strip you of the blood oath. I strip you of your assets and your titles and your properties. You, like Gavriel, are released with dishonour and shame. You are exiled from Doranel for your disobedience, your treachery. Should you step foot inside my borders, you will die. Go beg someone else. I have no use for a warrior I cannot trust. I rescind my kill order. Letting you live with the shame would be far worse for you, I think. Lorcan fell to his knees. I do not suffer fools gladly, Maeve said, leaving him in the sand, and walked away. As if she'd dealt him a blow, the twin to Gavriel's, Lorcan could not seem to move, to think or breathe. He tried crawling, though, toward Maeve. The bastard tried crawling. Then, too little too late. Where is Aelin? Where is Aelin? Where is my wife?
Oh, God.
And for the first time in centuries, Lorcan wept. Rowan dug the dagger deeper into Lorcan's neck, even as tears slid down Lorcan's face. What that woman had done. Aelin had known that Lorcan had betrayed her and summoned Maeve here, that she had been living on borrowed time, and she had married Whitethorn so Terrasen could have a king. Perhaps had been spurred into action because she knew Lorcan had already betrayed her, that Maeve was coming. She's now Aelin Ashriver Galathynius Whitethorn.
Aiden and Lysandra were their only witnesses.
Then, this is Elid's POV. She told Rowan that he was Aelin's mate, told him about Lyria. She told him about the whipping and the mask and the box. When Elid finished, they were silent, and Lorcan only watched as Aegon turned to Lysandra and snarled, "You knew." Lysandra did not flinch. She asked me that day on the boat to help her. She told me the suspected price to banish Erewhon and restore the keys, what I needed to do. Aegon snarled, "What could you possibly?" Lysandra lifted her chin. Rowan breathed. Aelin would die to forge the new lock, to seal the keys into the gate, to banish Erewhon, but no one would know. No one but us, not while you wore his skin for the rest of your life. Aegon dragged a hand through his blood-caked hair, but any offspring with Rowan wouldn't look anything like... Lysandra's face was pleading. You would fix that, Aegon, with me. With the golden hair, the Ash River eyes. If that line bred true, the shifter's offspring could pass as royal. Aelin wanted Rowan on the throne, but it would be Aegon secretly siring the heirs. Aegon flinched as if he'd been struck. And when were you going to reveal this? Before or after I thought I was taking my God's damned cousin to bed for whatever reason you concocted? Lysandra said softly, I will not apologise to you. I serve her, and I am willing to spend the rest of my life pretending to be her so that her sacrifice isn't in vain. You can go to hell, Aegon snapped. You can go to hell, you lying bitch.
Oh, God.
That's so fucking...
It is rough. And a really poignant thing that plays into a lot of people not liking Aegon.
Yeah.
But for me, right, and I probably didn't think it at the time, but now in retrospect, definitely reading it for the second time, you have to think of the situation that Aegon is in. He's just been told that she always knew she'd have to die and that she wanted him to basically play broodmare and just have children with Lysandra and give up the pretense that, like, his family wasn't his own, his children with the woman that he loved weren't his own. He had to pass them off as some. They'd be raised believing that they were Aelin and Rowan's children, and that he would have
He's Uncle Aegon.
But really, they're his kids. Yeah. And Lysandra's his wife, who he does really love more than anything. And he can't have that family relationship or that life because it's all to serve. And like, I get it, and I get Lysandra's point. She was like, I'm not willing to let her death be in vain.
Yeah,
if this is what she wants, then I'm gonna do it. But it's, oh my God, it's such a complicated situation.
It really is. Because like you can see everybody's point of view and like you want to back everybody, but
can't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
This is Elid's POV. She's talking to Lorcan.
Okay.
I hope you spend the rest of your miserable, immortal life suffering. I hope you spend it alone. I hope you live with regret and guilt in your heart and never find a way to endure it. And then hatred shone in Aegon's eyes, pure hatred. Even before you got the order to stand down, you did nothing to help her. You summoned Maeve here. I will never forget that.
It's such a rough time for everyone.
Yeah, emotions are high.
Do you know what I think as well? Historian's just stood in the middle of all of this.
He's like,
oh.
So glad I didn't get involved in any of that.
Like, if I thought I was having a bad time, like, whoa.
Like, I wonder how Chaol is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile,
like a thought bubble. Like, Ness pushing Chaol around.
Say he's like skipping through the grass. Yeah, it's not a good time.
This is the 13 now. Sorrel grunted, so you're half Crocian. Crocian queen. 5 centuries of... Astrid shrugged. 5 centuries of pure-blooded iron teeth couldn't bring us home. Maybe you can. And will you follow me? Manon asked them quietly. To do what needs to be done before we can return to the wastes? Aelin Galathynius had not beseeched Elena for another fate. She had only asked for one thing, one request of the ancient queen. Will you come with me? For the same reason Manon had now asked them. As one, the 13 lifted their fingers to their brows. As one, they lowered them. Manon looked toward the sea, her throat tight. Aelin Galathynius willingly handed over her freedom so an iron-teeth witch could walk free, Manon said. Elide straightened, pulling from Astrid's arms, but Manon continued. We owe her a life debt, and more than that, it is time that we became better than our foremothers. We are all children of this land. What are you going to do? Astrid breathed, her eyes so bright. Manon looked behind them, to the north. I am going to find the Crocians, and I am going to raise an army with them, for Aelin Galathynius and her people, and for ours.
God, I just keep getting
No, I fucking love Manon so much. Maeve doesn't have the 2 keys, Manon said from Dorian's side. Having crept up silently, her coven lingered behind her, Elide ensconced within their ranks, in case you were concerned. Lorcan and Gavriel turned toward them, then Lysandra. Dorian dared to ask, then where are they? I have them, Manon said simply. Aelin slid them into my pocket. Oh, Aelin, she'd worked Maeve into such a frenzy, made the queen so focused on capturing her that she hadn't thought to confirm if Aelin held the keys before she vanished. She'd been dealt such a wicked, impossible hand, and yet Aelin had made it count. One last time she'd made it count. It's why I couldn't do anything about it, Manon said. To help her, I had to look uninvolved, neutral.
Oh, God, it's so rough.
Then we get Rowan on the beach talking to Ansel, and a stranger is walking towards them up the beach.
God, yeah.
Where is Aelin Galathynius? The stranger asked a bit breathlessly as he scanned them. And his accent... Who are you? Rowan ground out, but the young man was now close enough that Rowan could see the colour of his eyes, turquoise with a core of gold. Aegon breathed as if in a trance. Galan Ashriver, Crown Prince of Wendelin. The young man's eyes widened as he took in the warrior prince. Aegon, he said hoarsely, something like awe and grief in his face, but he blinked it away, self-assured and steady, and again asked, where is she? None of them answered. Aegon demanded, what are you doing here? Galan's dark brows flicked toward each other. I thought she would have informed you. Informed us of what? Rowan said too quietly. Galan reached into the pocket of his worn blue tunic, pulling out a crinkled letter that looked like it had been read 100 times. He silently handed it to Rowan. His scent still clung to it as he unfolded the paper, Aegon reading over his shoulder. Aelin's letter to the Prince of Wendelin had been short, brutal. The large letters were sprawled across the page as if her temper had gotten the better of her. Herasan remembers Evelyn Ashriver. Do you? I fought at Mistwood for your people. Return the gods' damned favour. And then coordinates for this spot. It only went to me, Galan said softly, not to my father, only to me, to the armada that Galan controlled as a blockade runner against Ardalan. Rowan, Lysandra murmured in warning. He followed her stare, not to where Ansel and Enda now arrived at the edge of their group, giving the 13 a wide berth as they lifted their brows at Galan, but to the small company of white-clad people that appeared on the cresting dunes behind them, splattered in mud and looking like they had trekked across the marshes themselves. And Rowan knew. He knew who they were before they even reached the beach. Ansel of Briarcliff had gone pale at the sight of their layered, flowing clothes, and as the tall male in their centre peeled off his hood to reveal a brown-skinned, green-eyed face still handsome with youth, the Queen of the Wastes whispered, Ilias. Ilias, son of the mute master of the silent assassins, gaped at Ansel, his back stiffening, but Rowan stepped toward the man, drawing his attention. Ilias's eyes narrowed in assessment, and he, like Galan, scanned them all, searching for a golden-haired woman who was not there. His eyes returned to Rowan as if he'd marked him as the axis of the group. In a voice hoarse from disuse, Ilias asked him, We have come to fulfill our life debt to Selena Sardarthian, to Aelin Galathynius. Where is she? You are the silent assassins of the Red Desert, Dorian said, shaking his head. Ilias nodded and glanced at Ansel, who still seemed near vomiting, before saying to Rowan, "It seems my friend has called in many deaths in addition to ours." As if the words themselves were a signal, more white-clad figures filled the dunes behind them. Dozens, hundreds. Rowan wondered if every single assassin from that desert keep had come to honour their debt to the young woman, a lethal legion in themselves. And Galan? Rowan turned to the Crown Prince of Wendlin. "How many?" he asked. "How many did you bring?" Galan only smiled a bit and pointed to the eastern horizon, where white sails now broke over its rim, ship after ship after ship, each bearing the cobalt flag of Wendlin. "Tell Aelin Galathynius that Wendlin has never forgotten Evelyn Ashriver," Galan said to him, to Aedion, or Terrasan. Aedion fell to his knees in the sand as Wendlin's armada spread before them. "I promise you that no matter how far I go, no matter the cost, when you call for my aid, I will come." Aelin had told him she'd sworn to Darrow. "I'm going to call in old debts and promises to raise an army of assassins and thieves and exiles and commoners." And she had. She had meant and accomplished every word of it. Rowan counted the ships that slid over the horizon, counted the ships in their own armada, added Rolf's and the Mycenaeans he was rallying in the north. "Holy gods," Dorian breathed as Wendlin's armada kept spreading wider and wider. Tears slid down Aedion's face as he silently sobbed. "Where are our allies, Aelin? Where are our armies?" She had taken the criticism, taken it because he knew she wouldn't have wanted... taken it because he knew she hadn't wanted to disappoint them if she failed. Rowan put a hand on Aedion's shoulder. "All of it for Terrasan," she had said that day she'd revealed she'd schemed her way into getting Arobyn's fortune. And Rowan knew that every step she had taken, every plan and calculation, every secret and desperate gamble, for Terrasan, for them, for a better world. Aelin Galathynius had raised an army not just to challenge Morath, but to rattle the stars. She'd known that she would not get to lead it, but she would still hold true to her promise to Darrow. "I promise you on my blood, on my family's name, that I will not turn my back on Terrasan as you have turned your back on me." And then my final quote of the book.
Yeah.
Rowan brought the shirt to his face and breathed in her scent, felt something stir in him, felt the bond flicker. He let the shirt drop, let the wind carry it out far to sea, far away from this blood-drenched place that reeked of pain. "I will find you." Rowan shifted and soared high on a fast, wicked wind of his own making. The glimmering sea sprawling to his right, the marshes a green and grey tangle to his left. Chaining the wind to him, swiftly catching up with his companions now flying down the coast, he committed her scent to memory, committed that flicker in the bond to memory, that flicker he could have sworn he felt in answer, like the fluttering heart of an ember. Unleashing a cry that set the world trembling, Prince Rowan Whitethorn Galathynius, consort of the Queen of Terrasan, began the hunt to find his wife.
And imagine having, not that I'm any tea on Tower of Dawn, but imagine, I know I can't remember, yeah, I think publication-wise, Tower of Dawn came out next.
Yeah.
Imagine having to wait for that. Imagine that's how you finished that book. Like, and you didn't have Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash to pick up straight away.
You'd just be reeling, wouldn't you, with the feelings? Like,
I can't remember when we did favourite SJM books, if we rated Empire Storms over Kingdom of Ash.
I don't think we did. I think Kingdom of Ash was higher.
Maybe I'm reconsidering.
Yeah, that book is class, honestly. I do have one criticism.
Oh, okay, go on.
Aelin sucked on a tooth.
Oh, you said this to me, yeah.
Once or twice, right? I can understand what you mean, like the action, like I understand what you're trying to get at with
but
it.
There's too many sucking on teeth.
There's over 72 of them in this book.
Okay, yeah.
It just got so fucking tedious.
Yeah, I know what
she's
you mean.
sucking on another tooth.
Yeah.
She's sucking on another tooth.
Yeah.
I was sick of reading it, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I needed some... mix it up a bit.
Well, and also, right, this is getting really technical. Like, this is... So one of the beta feedbacks that I've been given is apparently I use, like, somebody grabbed him on their upper arm and turned him around. And I'm aware of it. And, like...
Yeah.
I know that beta feedback now I'm going to go through and I'm going to like reduce it to like 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know? And you just find other like things, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, because okay, fine, in your first draft you might write the same thing over and over, but you go and you go, right, okay, maybe she can, you know, like roll her eyes, then maybe, you just like,
Yeah.
I just think that's just like getting really mean, but it's just like a poor choice of editing.
Yeah, because you could control F that, type in the
Yeah.
word sucked, and you'd see it fucking 4,000 times.
And just change them.
Yeah.
Get three other things to rotate.
Yeah.
And just rotate them. No one's asking for you to think of like 72 different scenarios.
Honestly, the first couple of times I was just like, okay. Towards the end, I thought if she sucks on one more fucking
That's
tub,
it, yeah.
I'm going to punch them out.
In that scene, what broke me then, what really hit the tears then, was when Rowan places a hand on Adrian's shoulder as he's crying. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't ever say like you're a dickhead for because he just is like, look, no, like I know we're both in the shit together, and like we've both maybe obviously not Rowan has what's the word, like underestimated her as much, but like yeah, it's rough, innit? Yep. Wait till Kingdom of Ash, guys, because yeah.
Anything else we want to say? So next week we're doing Tower of Dawn,
which
I can't believe we've only got 2 weeks left.
I can't believe it. Well, Tower of Dawn. We love Tower of Dawn.
I love Tower of Dawn. I'm in the throes of it
I've only
now.
just started it. I need to shift. But
I'm in the throes.
I don't feel like Tower of Dawn is going to be quite as sad as
No,
this.
no,
It's
no.
not. So we've got a bit of
no.
like a reprieve, and then we're back for Kingdom of Ash, and then get ready to cry.
Yeah. Get ready for it to be like a 4-hour episode. I don't know how I'm going to minimize my quotes.
That's okay. It is what it is. It's a 1,000-page book.
This is an hour.
That's fine.
Are we done?
I think so. Have we got any parting words?
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry that we made you all read this with us.
But LJ straight after. Are we doing Broken Soul? Are we going to do LJ's interview and then Broken Souls and Bones? We're doing Broken Souls and Bones and then LJ's interview.
Whatever.
Probably the book and then
yeah, we can just park the interview once we've done it.
And save it. Yeah. But then I know we said this, but like we need some like palate cleanse.
Yeah, we do.
Like anything you think that's like a
maybe
bit
I'll get you to read Cinnamon Book.
Honestly,
Cinnamon Bun Bookshop or whatever it's called.
I'm not gonna lie, it's looking tempting just for the like
Pumpkin Spice Cafe or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Maybe we go back to Morning Glory Milky Dilky.
Oh, please do.
There's got to be, or maybe we do like Ice Planet. Actually, no, let's not do Ice Planet Barbarians because I've heard that once you start, it's like a 13-book series and you end up just like losing your head
about blue decks.
On blue decks.
Yeah.
But let's maybe do episodes where like it doesn't require reading.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Yeah,
I need an emotional come down after this.
Yes. I think we're done.
Okay.
We'll see you next week for Tower of Dawn.
And then we only have Kingdom of Ash left.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram @apod of Smut and Wingspan.
See you next week.
Bye.